605 Chaser, and we're coming to you live in the studio here. Today, we do have a lot to get to, so let's get right to things. I wanted to point out this is today's outlook for April 20th. Happy Easter. Unfortunately, many folks have had a very rough night. Areas of Texas, Oklahoma, even some storms already in the Arkansas area are around the Fayetteville area just to the southeast, as we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. You can see rolling across the ticker there, Madison County. Again, this is an outlook for the overall risks for today, and they are pretty numerous. Will central Illinois be okay for today? Central Illinois, let me go back to an outlook here that's a little bit further here. One moment. I would be on the guard. The reason why I say that is obviously there are some risks in the St. Louis area and more so the central part, because some of those northern part of the storms or northern part of that front have had a tendency the last couple of days to really start ramp up in the north side. So I would be concerned for areas of central part of Illinois if some of those rogue cells should go. As you can see with this tornadic outlook, some portions of Illinois are in that risk. The 2% is a green, and then the higher percentage would be in St. Louis, Hannibal, Kirksville, Chillicothe, and then obviously even more robust tornado outlooks in Lebanon, Jefferson City, Columbia, Springfield, Branson, West Plains. You can see them all there. Those are the tornado risks for today. Will Dallas be okay? Dallas is okay. Uh, that's a great question. You guys have kind of missed things a little bit. I mean, there's been a lot of rain, obviously, in Dallas. Dallas, you're okay today. Chicago, Illinois. Let me get to those areas as quick as I can. I want to go through the risks for today. So this is the wind risk. This is a main thing here too. A lot of wind risk. I've mentioned it before. Just because people may not have tornado activity, the wind risk is pretty significant as well. Thanks for the follows. I appreciate it very much. If you have not followed already, please go ahead and do so, as well as if you're able to gift something. Not asking for money, just helps with the algorithm and TikTok as well. So all of these areas are expecting to have a possibility of significant wind threat. Here's severe hail threat. As you can see, that's pretty high in that area. And now we're going to Missouri. These are the areas that you need to be concerned for your overall outlook. You have an enhanced risk in northern part of Arkansas. Obviously, you can tell that based on some of the information with Madison County there in Arkansas. And the tornado risk, again, these are some of the areas under the gun for today. I do expect these storms to start popping up even more numerous later this afternoon, early afternoon possibly. Again, the severe wind risk, Harrison, Batesville, Mountain Home, Fayetteville, all of them are expected to have continued development over the next several hours. And then the hail threat for Arkansas, 15 to 29%. Here's Texas, and now this is for Tuesday. Nothing really expected for tomorrow, just general thunderstorms. Texas area for Tuesday, we have a 1, a marginal risk. I do expect this to get updated. Oh goodness, thank goodness. They no longer have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Appreciate that little ticker there. So Tuesday, marginal risk for severe weather in Texas, but nothing expected really in that part, the western part of Texas for today. Um, and then this would be for Tuesday, kind of your overall probabilities. Again, I do expect some increase in this from the Storm Prediction Center. All right, let's go ahead and get to some of the weather model information so that we can kind of break this down for you. Here's those risks again. This is for today, and we're taking a look at HRRR weather model. Salem, Missouri, are we okay? In northern Missouri. Anybody that's in Missouri today, I don't mean to create panic here to anyone, but anybody that's in Missouri today or northern Arkansas, or even much of Arkansas, considering this threat for the 5%, I would be knowing exactly where your safe place is uh, because many of these storms are going to build a huge line. Let me go ahead and bring this through for you. I'm going to shut off these risks for right now, just so you can kind of see graphically a little bit better. Okay, if you could kind of see where your area is, hopefully you can. You're in Darcy T, you're in Southwest Missouri. Oh, goodness gracious. Folks in Southwest Missouri just can't catch a break. St. Louis is not okay. So we're going to go through Salem as best as I can. Now, if for some reason there happens to be a severe thunderstorm warning that gets issued, I will break that information here. Oh gosh, Darcy T near Joplin. I hope you have a plan there. Again, not to alarm you, but here's a look at what Salem is expected timing. Again, a lot of you have probably seen how this can evolve much faster um, than what this is expected. So just stay weather aware with your local news stations. But again, this is what is expected as of this update. And actually, let me go to the 12Z update. It's a little bit fresher. Okay, so areas of like Springfield, Joplin, let's go ahead and take a look at Joplin. We're expecting storms to develop somewhere around noon again as clouds can break through the cap. And then Springfield area, trying to get to everybody's as quick as I possibly can here. Thanks so much for the follow, Shayna. KC area, be one moment here. All right, so Salem area, that would be sometime in the late afternoon, early evening hours would be a concern for probability actually, and likelihood of some hail and very gusty winds. All right, Atlanta, Georgia, you're okay today. Don't worry about Atlanta, Georgia. Don't have any severe weather expected in Atlanta, Georgia today. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Monroe City, Monroe City area. This is kind of where we're expecting things to happen around 5 p.m. or maybe even a little bit sooner if this can break through some of that cloud cover that's happening. So that's kind of an estimate, Monroe City there. Tennessee, Chattanooga, I'll take a look at that. Decatur, Texas. Oh goodness, you guys got a lot of different spots here. I want to go to Tulsa for right now because you guys have kind of been missing some spots here. So let's go ahead and take a look at Tulsa. Looks like development will start fairly early in that area. Let me go ahead and put the risks up right now for the tornado activity. You're right on the edge of that tornado activity. The green is the 2%, and then the brown is the higher risk for the tornadic activity. And then obviously we've got Jefferson City, Columbia, Springfield, anyone that's in this yellow zone, this yellow polygon, If you live anywhere in this yellow polygon, know where you need to take cover and shelter because later this afternoon, these are areas that are expected to potentially be at the highest risk for tornadic activity somewhere in there. So just be aware of that. So if you live anywhere, Shirley Williams, you're welcome. If you live anywhere in this yellow polygon area, Fort Worth, Texas, we'll go over the Fort Worth, you're outside of this risk for tornadic activity. So I would say you're okay. Most of this development's going to happen east of you. However, as you get into Tuesday, you might be under the gun for Tuesday. Macon, Missouri. Anybody in Missouri at all? I'd love to get specific, but the whole state of Missouri, quite honestly, needs to be very, very, very careful. If you're having plans to travel anywhere in Missouri, all these things are. All right, Brit Texas girl, EUCHA. All right, there's Yucca. These are estimates. Just be aware of that. This is a weather model that we're using through Radar Omega. So this would be a very concern sometime in the early afternoon hours in Yucca, Oklahoma. KCMO, yes, you guys are under the gun for possibility for Kansas City area. 2% in the green, and then brown area, so Belton area outside of Kansas City. You guys are under the gun for possibility of risks of tornadic activity as well. And yours would probably be, I would stay heightened alert anywhere noon time or later in KCMO. St. Louis, Missouri, I know you're asking. All right, St. Louis, timing on that, again, this could end up changing, so just be aware of that and be mindful if these storms break through a morning time cap where they, speaking of cap, I'll get to that in a minute. I got a graphic to show y'all. But St. Louis could possibly be anytime after 6 p.m. All right, I got you, St. Louis. Springfield, the timing back here, this is all in Central Daylight Time, so be aware of that. So 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time, uh, that is kind of the heightened time frame. Sometime between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. gets pretty crazy. Let me show you a graphic real quick that can I talk about cap, okay? All right, breaking the cap, stable layer. So a stable layer, basically warm air aloft. You got warm, moist air moving on up, and what that can do is if you get enough warm, moist air and a number of other elements in there as well, you can certainly break through the cap or the cloud cover and allow those storms to really build. So that's what we're watching for. So if you see clearing um, today, where the clouds really can dwindle away, be concerned because if it dwindles away early enough, so say if it dwindles away within the next few hours here, then definitely if you're in that polygon area of the tornado risk, be concerned because most of those areas would end up having a higher risk of tornadic activity. The other thing, surface temperature and dew point, if those are close, what it can mean, and it can be supportive for tornadoes. Um, the other thing, you need a trigger mechanism, which I just showed you. Basically, you need instability, wind shear, lift. Everything's got to come together just right for these tornadoes to get going. And sometimes they do quite a bit. Late afternoon to early evening. Those are the times, basically the time frame for capping to typically get eroded fairly quickly. If it's broken through between 3 p.m. and 7, then typically that means you're going to have some robust storms. All right, so let's go back to radar Omega here. Northern third of Arkansas, northwest Arkansas. What time for Farmington? Farmington, Missouri. I appreciate all the share of the live. Appreciate that. If you're able to, is storm going to hit Indiana? Okay, Indiana, I'll take a look at you in a minute. Right now, I got to get Farmington. Farmington, you're in the zone, the higher risk for tornadic activity, as well as St. Louis. So if you're in that area at all, expect those storms to develop pretty quickly. This is showing sometime after 6 p.m. for Farmington. But again, if this should break through faster, then these storms could escalate sooner. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at Northwest Arkansas. So anybody that's in Northwest Arkansas, this is the timing for your storms there. Again, this is just an estimate. So this area here, you can certainly see these storms that are getting pretty robust along this line right here. So anyone that would be eastward of there definitely would need to watch out. Even this whole line of storms that are right in here, that I would not doubt would probably have some embedded tornado risk there, definitely. Velma, you're welcome for the information. Mountain Home, and then we need to do Louisville. Okay, Mountain Home, yep. If you're in this yellow zone, extremely dangerous area. And again, this is an estimate of your timing. We could have storms really knocking on your door sometime in the early afternoon. So because it's between that 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., I would definitely want to know your safe place, be sheltered in somewhere, basement, somewhere safe this afternoon for sure. Clinton, Arkansas. And then we'll get to Tennessee here. All right, again, that area is a concern this afternoon. Clinton, Arkansas, for robust development of storms. All right, what about Indiana, and how's that going to be impacted? Well, Indiana, you're outside of the tornado risk for today, but let's get the overall risks in here. Indiana looks like, from what the Storm Prediction Center has here, that updated about a half an hour ago, general thunderstorms for Indiana. Not a huge concern. Louisville, Kentucky area, general thunderstorms. Nashville, general thunderstorms. Up and down the line here, Springfield, and then I think there was somebody that was asking about Chicago. For today, your risk is general thunderstorms. Thank you for your. Hey, Mesomat is good morning. Good morning. I'm surprised you're up this early, man. You had a late night covering all those storms. Thank you for your input. I value it highly. I'll be ready both for myself and my neighbors. Yes, that's great. Happy Easter to you as well. Drive into Springfield this afternoon. Should we wait until later this evening? I would not wait until later this evening, but Brianna, hang on one moment here. Let me go to Springfield. Honestly, if I was you, and I'm not trying to um, do any fear mongering or anything like that. Honestly, if I was you, I would try to see if you're going to be doing it again today. Sadly, one more day. We never sleep. Yeah, Mesomat and us. Yes, we never seem to sleep, but that's okay. We're doing what we love to do, keeping people informed. All right, so Springfield, back to you, Brianna. If I was you, I would try to reschedule whatever it is that you have to be somewhere. Um, these storms in the Springfield area, if it could break through the capping of the atmosphere pretty quickly, things could really get explosive pretty quick. Um, honestly, if you left this morning, you'd be fine. If you'd be in your area of, safe area by say 11 o'clock in the morning, you should be okay. But anything after 11 a.m., that's when I expect a lot of development to really happen in some of these areas. So, all right. And of course, as y'all have seen, development can happen very quickly once that cap is broken. I'm trying to get to everybody I can. Louisville, Kentucky, you're okay. You're in the general thunderstorms. Lenexa, Kansas. I'm very familiar with that area. Used to live in and around that area. Let me go ahead and punch in Lenexa just so I can have a pin drop here. You guys are in the risk you're right on the marginal risk. But if a few rogue storms can get going on the northern track of this, I would expect some hail and definitely some gusty winds and a lot of rain in the Lenexa area this afternoon. Hope that helps. All right, let's see if we have any other ones. Thanks so much for all of the continued sharing of the live. I appreciate that. Central Missouri, Brittany Stockman, Jefferson City, and Columbia. We don't have any current active warnings, so we're good there. Jefferson City, you're in that enhanced risk. Again, a lot of storms expected and even a major wind threat. All of this right here, see this, a little bit of this curvature here. That just basically means that there's a lot of wind on the back side of this. So once these storms would pass through, again, I want to remind folks we're looking at a radar estimate using one of the weather models. This one particularly is HRRR weather model. Okay, so this is not live that we're looking at right now. If there was any severe thunderstorm warnings, I would certainly break in with that information, but right now there is not. So as you can see the time is up at the top. That is in Central Daylight Time. These are estimates here. Springfield, Illinois. Yep, you're definitely in Illinois. Whoops, there we go. That's my basically my alarm. All right, if you were able to hear that. Springfield, Illinois, you're in the slight risk for risks today. Again, I want to remind folks that if some of these rogue cells could sweep away and get into the northern half of this front, basically what can happen is you could have some tornadic activity on the north side of this, so just be mindful of that. In this green zone, Springfield, you're in that 2% risk. I don't like the percentages necessarily to use that, but anyone that is in these shaded areas are in a risk for tornadic activity. Are you definitely going to get a tornado? No, I definitely can't confirm that. If we could all do that, goodness, the amount of lives that we could save. Oh, Springfield, Missouri. Okay. Okay, my bad, Becca. Okay. Becca, Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right. So, Springfield, Missouri area, again, if this should hold true, it's going to be sometime afternoon, early afternoon for Springfield, Missouri area. And um, this is going to be 70 plus mile an hour winds anywhere along here. And obviously, there could be some embedded tornado activity anywhere in this zone. There are some heightened areas of concern that I would have just based on some of the uh, deeper colors. I kind of look for those because those typically tell me that these are much more highly vertical and have that capability of really, if it has some wind shear. Let's go ahead and take a look at the significant tornado parameters, actually. Significant tornado parameters doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a tornado. I just want to give that disclaimer there. It just means that a lot of ingredients are there, uh, and this is kind of a measuring tool somewhat to say, hey, based on this particular weather model, these would be areas of concern that have, uh, in my opinion, a higher risk for tornadic activity. Area here, certainly around 3 p.m. That would be Stockton, El Dorado, Springs, Springfield, of course. That does have a concern right there. As I was stating, with that line, a lot of these do have that capability. We are starting to see a number of special weather statements, so that tells me that we are starting to see some development happen already. Thanks, Care Bear, for the follow. Illinois, no risk for tornado activity today. Oh, I apologize. Apologize. Indiana is where I was. Boy, I need to get some sleep. Goodness. Couldn't sleep very well. I was concerned about a lot of folks, actually. Um, you are in the 2% risk for tornado activity in Illinois. So if these storms can escalate northward pretty quickly, if a few rogue cells could develop into those areas, then you do have a slight chance. Just stay weather aware would be my suggestion. What about West Plains? Any risk for tornadoes? West Plains. Ooh, you're in the tan colored risk for Troy, Missouri. Yeah, Missouri pretty much is got quite a huge risk, most of Missouri. Chicago, Illinois, you're outside of the risk for today, so you're okay. Don't expect any significant severe weather in Chicago. West Plains, I believe that's kind of the same area. West Plains, Missouri, my apologies. Yeah, anybody that's in this polygon that's yellow with the dashes should be very concerned. Anyone in that area is in the highest risk for tornadic activity today. And looking at the significant tornado parameters, looks like the timing of that would be sometime this afternoon as well. East Texas, there is a concern for East Texas, depending on what area of Texas specifically, but there's a few possibilities here in areas of Sulphur Springs, Mount Pleasant, Paris, around, early on has some significant tornado parameter information here. But what I'm going to do is switch back to a live radar right now, because we do have a few of these, I call them trainings, thunderstorms that are moving in a northeasterly direction that are starting to get pretty concerning. Take a look at this here. These are moving 40 miles per hour and these are some areas that I think we need to hold off on anything else because it looks like things are developing. Let me go ahead and take a look at the satellite loop. Things are developing way faster than I expected today. I'm going to shut off a few things so because we do have some development definitely happening here. I'm going to look at the lower level here. Lower level water vapor is what I'm looking at right now, a satellite imagery. Got dry pockets over by Jonesboro, Cape Girardeau, so dry pockets here developing. But then a couple of different waves that we have that are trying to get things going. That tells me basically the cap is attempting to break, or the lid for the atmosphere. It's attempting to break and could end up in the next few hours here get pretty robust. Be one moment here. I'm just going to take a look at the geocolor here. As you can see, some of these areas here, I'm just going to kind of point out. This is the clearing that you can see. Some of these darker shades, that's clearing, starting to clear here. A lot of clearing right here. Okay, that's where there's basically not much cloud cover at all. And so what I'm looking for is wherever it's starting to get clear, even on the other side of this, there's a lot of clearing going on right here as well. And hence the reason we have some of these special weather statements going on. That just got issued here. Got penny size hail, not anything real damaging, but still, this is strong thunderstorm over Osage moving north at 45 miles per hour. So yeah, these areas are definitely going to see some clearing throughout the day. I'm going to take a look at one other factor here. I'm getting lost in my own self here. One moment. Karen Walker, East Texas. I was going to get to that here. Karen Walker, East Texas. Let me go ahead and take a look at that. I'll get off of the significant tornado parameters. Again, this is a radar estimate based off of HRRR weather model. So if you're around the northeast part of Texas, would expect development sometime in the early afternoon hours. And then further down into here, like Lufkin, north of the Woodlands, those areas, you would expect that later development on the southern region. Yeah, Houston, you should be good as far as severe weather goes. Philadelphia, Mississippi. Goodness, I'm learning a lot. I did not realize there was a Philadelphia, Mississippi. And I should say I'm learning a lot about where different cities are in the U.S., not necessarily learning a lot regarding the weather. That I do know a few things. All right, so Philadelphia, Mississippi. Um, I would suspect that you're going to probably have some storms maybe on the 21st. So, although not too significant, basically general thunderstorms is what I'm seeing there. St. Louis, if you're referring to Kia, I can't pronounce that. Kia David, St. Louis, Missouri. If you're referring to St. Louis, Missouri, you're going to be under the gun this afternoon. Very concerning for your area for possibility of some tornadic activity there. Thanks so much for sharing the live. I appreciate it, Velma. Houston, Missouri. anybody that's in Missouri, it's going to be early afternoon to late afternoon. It's going to be a long night, possibly pretty much all day. Once things get rolling through, it's got to break through some of the cap. I'll take a look at Tulsa, Oklahoma here. I did take a look at that actually earlier, and the storms. This is an estimate, expecting development sometime early afternoon hours. Columbia, Missouri, Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Sorry, I don't know where that is exactly. If I'm, oh gosh, I'm not even pronouncing that right. All right, that area there, you do have some special weather statement just to the east of you. And those movement is northeast at 40 miles per hour. So we're starting to see some development over by um, Tulsa area. There's some development still well. This is a look at the live radar right now, so just be aware of that. These are kind of some training thunderstorms, but nothing real big. These are kind of garden variety showers, if you will. And I'll go ahead and put the front on here. Once I can find it, evidently I'm having a moment. All right, this was updated at 7 a.m. where the front was. 4 a.m. My apologies. So this is obviously moved along quite a bit already, but this is kind of what we're concerned about is developing low pressure that was down here is going to move on through, and then that's going to end up sparking some thunderstorms, definitely. All right, what time should Southwest Missouri expect the bad weather? You guys in Southwest Missouri later this afternoon. Let me go ahead and pull up my HRRR. You already have some type of special weather statements that are happening there, but this is a radar estimate loop of what could happen. So you don't have a whole lot going on at 10 a.m. according to this. And then things early afternoon, Joplin area, Springfield, and this whole line here. Not sure if any of you can see that. I'm going to cover Little Rock area. That would be a concern sometime in the 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. time zone. Um, Thanks so much for the follow, Michigan. Don't worry about Michigan right now. They're general thunderstorms, if anything. Got to kind of stay focused on these areas. Jefferson City, some timing on that in Sedalia, Missouri. So back to Southwest Missouri. Again, timing of that is crucial, but sometime afternoon. And looks like St. Louis, Missouri. That would be sometime in the late evening hours, but it could be sooner. So I would be, just because of the fact that if it can break through the cap, things can start progressing much faster. And depending on the track of these storms and all that. So be concerned of that. Houston, Texas. We got that already. Hot Springs, Arkansas, look for today. All right, so this is radar estimate. It looks like sometime after 2 o'clock, Hot Springs, Arkansas. I would be very concerned about that area as well. Let's remind folks of what we have for the risks. Hot Springs, you are in the 5% zone for tornado activity. Areas of northern Arkansas and much of Missouri are in the higher risk of tornadic activity. And just because these don't, if some of these don't drop a tornado, don't don't worry. Just, I mean, you got to be worried, but not panic. So here's the thing: tornadoes, you can have tornadoes, but there's also straight line winds. A lot of these, and we've seen it last night, there was a number of radar indicated tornadoes. Sometimes uh, the the polygons for tornado warnings get issued because radar picks up major wind gusts, and some things on the radar imagery look like it's a tornado, but it also could be straight line winds. And straight line winds are no joke. They are just as impactful in some regards to tornadoes. So just be aware of that. So we're just going through a radar loop estimate. This is an estimate of the timing, folks. North Little Rock, I would be concerned about North Little Rock area for this afternoon and into the evening based on this. Conway area, anybody that's in that brown polygon or even the green one should be concerned, and definitely, most definitely, those that are in the yellow polygon. Those are showing your risks for tornado activity. And as you can see, outlined by the Storm Prediction Center, uh, a significant severe threat for that. Let's go ahead and I don't want to discount the other threat that we have, hail. 2+ inch hail. It's a large area of hail, all the way back down to Shreveport, Longview, Texas area. This is the hail risk that we're looking at right now. So areas of Illinois, you do have some concerns for hail over by Jacksonville, Hannibal, those areas. And that would be later this evening in those areas if this can go get together. Michigan area. Anna, I appreciate the question. Michigan, you're fine. As you can see in the outlined areas, there's really not that much of a concern for Michigan right now, just some general thunderstorms. I'll kind of give you the overall risk since I'm up here right now. This is all general thunderstorms, so nothing to worry about. I mean, if you have concern about rain, yeah, but garden variety rain, not anything huge in Michigan. We have just a slight bit of rain around Casey area as of now. Mopar. All right. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate it very much. Check Louisville, Kentucky, please. I will check that. You guys are in the general thunderstorms for today. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's risk and remind folks tomorrow. Again, right now just looks like general thunderstorms for Kentucky over the next couple of days. So some rain that you guys probably don't need, but not flash flood warning type of rain. So that's good. LaPorte, Indiana. Alexis, severe weather is expected to ramp up later this afternoon. So depending on where you're at, so like Missouri area would be early afternoon and into the late afternoon. It's going to be a long, long day for areas of Missouri. All right, so Indiana, General thunderstorms. Anybody that's in Indiana area, not too concerning today. Thanks, Sherry. Happy Easter to you as well. Taneyville. Oof. Let's go ahead and take a look at Taneyville. We're going to go back with this HRRR weather model here and see the timing of that. Unfortunately, you guys are under the gun for some significant severe weather. You have a couple of thunderstorms that are non-severe related right here that have some minor hail that could end up impacting eventually your area later. But it looks like the main event is going to be sometime after 12 o'clock today. Center Iowa. Iowa, unless you're in the, I don't know if you're meaning central Iowa, Des Moines, you're okay. Pleasant Hill, Illinois. You guys are in the slight risk, and the timing of that, again, looks to be, you could have some storms rolling through there anytime after 5 o'clock today. So I would say between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. is probably your hour that you need to be concerned. Yes, Sherry, definitely not good. Cypress, Texas. All right, you guys are in the marginal risk for today. Maybe a few showers, robust storm. No. Cypress, I would say you're okay. I mean, other than some rain, you're good. Columbia, Missouri, BB, Arkansas. Time for BB, Arkansas. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, James Ellis, for mentioning that. Yes, all of Missouri is not looking good. Correct. So anybody that has concerns about Missouri, no disrespect, but definitely um, stay on guard today for Missouri. BB, Arkansas, you're in the enhanced risk for severe weather. Again, these are radar estimates. We just went through another update from HRRR. I'm not able to go to the 13Z update because it's not fully out yet. Let me see how far out it is. 13Z is not updated yet, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. So the timing for that area of BB, Arkansas, you could have significant severe weather impacting your area sometime after 3 o'clock today based on this. But again, if storms can get going faster, you just never know. All right, Oklahoma. Oklahoma area. McAllister, please. That's the area. Okay, you're in the marginal risk. And as far as risks for tornado activity, you're in the lower risk of it. Know where your safe place is, but I'm seeing based on this that you might get missed by it. because the storms won't be mature enough. So you should be good. Springfield, Missouri don't look bad as what we got this morning. Alabama, this is not expected to impact Alabama area. Even if we look at day 2, Alabama, you're going to get general thunderstorms tomorrow. Um, and then even on Tuesday, as of right now, unless the Storm Prediction Center should happen to update things. Ava, Missouri. Ava, Missouri, I'll get to you. I can try and get the timing down, but again, this is going to be a little difficult to get the timing figured out because these weather models do update quite regularly. All right, so the timing on that is sometime after 3 o'clock for Ava specifically. Actually, I would feel much safer saying after 2. Okay. Columbia, Dee Columbia, Missouri. Thanks for the follows. I appreciate it. Continue to share the live if you're able to. I'm going to be live for a little bit longer here, but then I'm going to need to take a break. And then around 11:30, the Storm Prediction Center is expected to have another update on these risks. So Columbia, sometime after 2 o'clock would be a concern as well. Oh, leather and feathers. Thanks for joining Cape Girardeau, Missouri. So the timing looks to be really late for that area. It looks like it's pretty intense around 10 p.m. based on this weather model update. If it can hold itself together, I would be concerned about some hail and definitely a lot of rain. Could be some impactful wind threat there as well in Cape Girardeau. Lawrence, I'm assuming Illinois. Madison, Orange. Lawrence, is that Illinois? You're welcome, Leather and Feathers. Hopefully it just blows past St. Louis because I'm tired and just transplanted my plants. Oh, I love gardening. Oh, Lawrence, Kansas. Eastern Kentucky, you're okay. You don't have any risks for today. Thanks for the question, Daryl. Nowata, Oklahoma. You're in the slight risk today. We'll go ahead and take a look at some estimate. That would be a concern sometime early afternoon hours. I mean, some pretty impactful rain showers, maybe a few isolated spots of hail, but I don't see anything that's too alarming as far as the risk for tornado activity. Let me go ahead and take a look at significant tornado parameter information here as well. Yeah, it looks like it's going to stay just east of you, east of Nowata. Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri is going to have some pretty impactful stuff. Poplar Bluff, anywhere in Missouri. Let me break down a few other things here. We're going to take a look at max updraft helicity. Max updraft helicity. So basically, looking at this would be hail risk and where we could see a lot of updraft in the atmosphere to support the towering of the storms, if you will. So areas that would be of concern would be, again, these are radar estimates. This is not live. Walker area. Actually, this whole line right here would be of concern, and that would be around 5 p.m. These all are in Central Daylight Time. So any time after 2 o'clock, it looks like when things really ramp up. Then Springfield, Nixa area, even areas south of Harrison, Arkansas, like south of Jasper area near Daniel Mountain. That would be a concern at around 5 p.m. Baxter Springs, let's take a look at that. Just going to get, so West Plains. I know somebody had a question about Poplar Bluff. If you're looking at the max updraft helicity, it doesn't look too concerning there, but there could be other factors to play into that as well. You are in the slight risk, so just be mindful of that. West Plains would be a concern right here as well. Anywhere in Missouri, I'm sorry, I'm not going to specify anything for Missouri because anybody that's in Missouri needs to be very concerned. Tennessee, no, Tennessee is not. Well, let's specify that Dyersburg because there is. You guys are in the marginal risk. You're right on the line, so I would not be too concerned about that area. Maddox, Prods, Poplar Bluff. Let's go back to look at like the composite reflective here. Poplar Bluff area. We're looking at right around after 6 p.m. Got a lot of storms after 6 p.m. Some concern would be just north of there. If these break up, it's hard to tell. I think, in my opinion, these are going to hold together a long time and could have a significant severe weather threat there for hail as well as some straight line winds. Carlos, well, yes, in the middle of Tennessee, it is supposed to rain, but that's general thunderstorms. Central Arkansas, yes, you do have some concerns for Central Arkansas. That would be outlined here. Central Arkansas in the yellow is the slight risk, and then northern part of Arkansas is in the enhanced risk as of right now. So these are estimates of radar loop of how this is going to be. So up along I-30 there near Little Rock, sometime in the early afternoon hours, things really start ramping up and continue through. What my main concern is right now, besides just tornadic activity being embedded in some of these storms that are going to be impacting areas of Missouri, it's also concerning right around 4 p.m. as of this update for these areas here as well, because there could be some embedded rain wrap tornadoes in there. And then also straight line winds. The reason why I say straight line winds is because a lot of this curvature that starts to show up here reminds me of a gust front that comes through. You'll probably be able to see that if this ends up holding true and those can be just as dangerous as some small tornadoes as well. Anyone in Missouri just needs to be in know where their safe place of shelter is. I'm not going to go into any specifics for Missouri right now because of the timing of these storms, and pretty much all of Missouri is in a severe risk of some sort today. You've got marginal risk way up by St. Joseph area, Independence area. We got Chillicothe is in the slight risk, and then we do have this an enhanced risk that is over by Moberly, all the way down into areas of Arkansas, as far south as Jacksonville, just north of Little Rock area. These are radar estimates, so while I'm at the Little Rock area, we do expect storms to kind of uh, meander over in that area sometime after 3 o'clock. Maybe 2 o'clock would be a better time to kind of mention. Thanks again so much. Megan Mathis, thanks so much for the follow. Brooklyn, thanks for the share. James Ellis, I'll stay in the basement. Yep, good idea. If you're in Missouri or um, any of those areas that are in the enhanced. What does Indianapolis look like later? Indianapolis, let's take a look at that. Showers, general thunderstorms late tonight. Not seeing anything that's alarming. I have family in Greenville, Missouri, 30 miles from Poplar Bluff. Oh, goodness. James, wow. Oh, somebody get a Red had gifted me and I didn't even notice that. I am so sorry, Red. I'm still learning all this. Learning all this stuff with TikTok. It's a new thing for me. I'm used to going on Facebook. All right. Let's go ahead and show folks a little bit more for those that are just joining, some things that we need to be aware of. Breaking the cap or breaking the lid of the atmosphere. That's what's needed today because those storms that rolled through overnight, uh, it's having a struggle, I'll admit that. But if it can break through the cap and the stable layer can be broken, a lot of explosive thunderstorm development is definitely possible. Another thing, surface temperature and dew point. If those are close, they can be supportive for tornadoes. So that's just very small element that I kind of look for. What it can mean, a small temperature minus the dew point spread, low cloud bases, low LCLs, more equals more favorable for tornadoes. But for a tornado, you'd also need instability, wind shear, lift, a trigger mechanism. So a lot of things have to come together just right for tornadic activity to be explosive. Late afternoon to early evening hour is peak surface heating can finally overcome the cap. So between that time frame is typically what we call the tornado chasers magic hours for chasing. How about Jonesboro? I think that's a little delayed. Hang on one second here. Okay. Harrison, Arkansas. Happy Easter to you as well. Huntington, West Virginia. You don't need to worry about anything here today. There's nothing, no concern really in that area. Could maybe have a few light showers tomorrow. Let me take a look at that. That's a look at light showers possible in Nashville and Tennessee for tomorrow, in Columbus, Ohio, but not really a big concern. Um, I'm going to take a look at back to today's outlook here. Thanks so much for the follow, Delilah. My Dean, oh, my grandkids would say storms are coming. I can hear the money. I was a lineman retired now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you were a lineman, my hat goes off to you. Uh, that's a lot of hard work. I mean, one thing with springtime storms, it's a whole nother ballgame if you end up dealing with the winter storms. How bad in Harrison? Let's take a look at Harrison. Can't spell, sorry. Harrison. There we go. You guys are in the marginal risk in Harrison, so I don't expect unless the 11:30 update gives something. I mean, you're going to definitely get some rain, uh, without a doubt. Some pretty significant rain, but I don't see anything that suggests anything more than maybe some minor hail. All right. You're welcome, Derek users. Licking, Missouri. Wow, I did not realize. Is that really a town? Oh my goodness. All right, here's Licking, Missouri. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just crazy. Um, After 4 o'clock, let me see if there's a new update here. Hang on one moment. I have a feeling Radar Omega's having a struggle here of updates. We should have a 13Z update. There it is. All right. We got some fresh data, so this timing could change a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. We go to Licking, Missouri here again. And it's still showing that it's having a struggle, so later in the afternoon hours in Licking, Missouri, possibility of some significant wind threat. Could be isolated tornadoes anywhere in this enhanced risk area. All right, folks, I'm going to hop off of the live here. I appreciate you all joining. I appreciate it so much. We do have very difficult uh, to get these storms to get building. So if it can overcome that cap, expect storms to really develop. I may end up going live later today with storms. I may not. Today is Easter, so it's going to be some family gatherings, and so thanks, James. I appreciate you as well. Mimi 13, thank you. I appreciate you as well. And thanks for the gifts, folks. I appreciate that so much. I really feel bad that I didn't say anything to Red that gifted me over 301. I'm still learning. All right, you guys have a safe rest of your happy Easter. Go be with your family if they're close by. Otherwise, make sure that you stay tuned to your local news and weather stations for the latest updates. And then if I should happen to go live, you'll get notified if you are following. Otherwise, you're going to be missing out. So be sure to follow and share the live so that way folks that are in these areas uh, can be alerted. I also do have my Facebook and YouTube channel, and I do live in-depth storm chasing where I'm out in the field on those as well. So go ahead and follow those. You can find it by typing in in Facebook or YouTube 605 Chaser, and you'll find me. Um, if you go ahead and do that, you'll be able to see the live in the field chasing. I can't do live in the field chasing on TikTok because of the safety guidelines. So you guys have